Whatever substance I picked, I will fall in love with it.
Ah.
I have a very adventurous mind.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, which is all about mental health awareness and wellness. As you can see, today I'm not alone. I am here with a guest. So welcome, Abdullahi.
Thank you, Maryanne, for the invite.
Yeah.
And I really feel good seeing you today. It's been long.
Yeah. Thank you so much also for honoring this. It is not something I can take for granted. And also for our viewers, at least they get to hear a real life story of someone who has gone through it all. Abdullahi is my friend. We used to work with him. That's why you can hear him saying it's been a long time. So please introduce yourself.
My name is Abdullahi Omar Ali. I'm an addiction counselor by profession. I run a rehabilitation center, Infinite Hope Rehabilitation Center in Kitengela, Muigai Estate. I come from the northern parts of Kenya, Wajir. That's where I was raised. And I came in and joined secondary school in Nairobi. From there, I enrolled at the University of Nairobi. That was many years back.
Yeah.
95, I completed high school. So the 2 years period where you normally, there's a waiting period before you join university.
Yeah.
I think that's where the trouble started. I've never been in any interaction with any substances up to the time I completed Form 4.
Yeah.
That is when I experimented on Mira, cigarettes. But I found that there's something that I noticed about me. Whatever substance I picked, I will fall in love with it.
Ah.
And that is one thing I realized about myself. And today I think it's because of the personality, addictive personality in me, that anything I pick, I overdo it.
Did you ever do things like cocaine, crack?
Those days when we were in university, it was shunned, it was looked down upon. That is, I think that is the only reason I didn't pick. Yes.
So maybe if you picked, you could also have gotten into them.
Yes, I have a very adventurous mind. And I think that is why I pick substances as they come. So continuing after joining, waiting for the 2 years, by the time I remember I was joining first year, I was already a chain smoker. And I was drinking alcohol like almost every day, smoking marijuana, and I started now using also sleeping pills. Because after drinking, smoking weed, you know, the body becomes indifferent to it. So to find sleep also, I had to start using sleeping pills.
Which are the common sleeping pills?
Mostly we will get diazepams, and there is one which is known as blue. Even then it was there. I don't know if it's the original.
Blues, blue, as they call them.
Yes. So for me, those ones now, like, they won't make me fall asleep, because I was using Mira and drinking. It will just taper me to normal. And due to eating Mira for long durations, you can cheat your mind that you had slept when you hadn't gone to sleep anytime by taking the sleeping medication.
How long would you go without sleep?
Days and days. Sometimes I'll go for a week without sleep. And that will show on every part of the body. The eyes were sunken and red, weak body, lack of appetite, you know, lack of... it was a miserable existence. It was a miserable existence. And it went on that way for up to, I joined university, continued, okay, I'll do classes, disappear over the weekends, but now it became, I don't even do classes. I come for cuts and exams. And up to third year, I went on that way. Third year, second semester, I think that's the last time I stepped into any class. I went for
you didn't finish?
I didn't finish, but later on I went on and completed. After 15 years of being addicted. Yes.
Actually, I saw that post on your graduation. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
And maybe you can tell us now, after third year, the dropout, what happened?
What happened is that things started happening fast. Life changed. I turned from the responsible, honest person to someone you wouldn't want around you. Someone you will think twice before engaging them. And for me, I think that was the weakest point was when I got arrested after breaking the university hostels. Imagine you are a student at the same university, and I can't even explain what made me do that, but I broke into the hostels, was thrown into police station. I spent some time at the remand prison.
Wow.
I think that was the tipping point for me. But that itself didn't teach me a lesson. I kept on doing the same things again after being bailed out of prison. My folks came over to Nairobi and they saw that maybe it's Nairobi which is doing him the damage. They took me back to Wajir. But I think that's when I found the cheaper mirror, I found the cheaper liquor, you know, everything was like, the way I wanted.
Yeah, and they thought that taking you from Nairobi is
a solution.
Yeah.
But I degenerated into like what we normally call the normal wazimu wa kawaida now. That is what I turned out to be. I kept on doing the same things for 15 years, waking up, taking substances, like becoming the common village laughing stock from the...
Where were you staying at that moment?
I was staying in Wajir.
At your parents'?
At my parents' place. But you know, it was the same kid you sent to university is coming back to you a liability. When everyone is talking about. You are a good example before, but now you become, don't be like him. He went, he used substances, now he's gone crazy. And I think it is the lack of understanding of what substances
addiction is
that makes people also stigmatize individuals and think of them as people of low morals and all that. At some point, a friend of mine who in the same class noticed that there was something wrong. I was on the street, completely begging and all that. And he just came over and I started a group of my former classmates and friends.
And maybe you can share which school were you in?
I went to Starehe Center back in the day. And I think that's where I got good friends. They came around, they came through for me, they paid up for my rehabilitation center. I went to a place called Eden House, Likoni. Spent 4 months there, volunteered again. And
same place?
Yeah, same place. For me, I think the biggest outcome of my addiction is it gave me an experience that I wouldn't have learned in 3 lifetimes. The misery.
Or like the way we learn it in the books or in class.
No.
First-hand experience.
First-hand experience for pain, sorrow. And the fact that life can easily be nothing to something or from something to nothing. So I don't look at things for granted. I don't take anything for granted. The fact that I woke up today happy and smiling, it's a lot. I think pain is a very good teacher. If you're willing to learn, it's a very good teacher. And for me, I hit the road running. I did all that was necessary. At rehab, I was also introduced to the NA programs, and I kept on being a volunteer, going for meetings, doing step work. This kind of empowered me to realize that, you know, it's not all is lost. There's always hope. There's always hope. There's always possibility of change. I went back to university, registered again, did the 4th year, completed. After that, I also went and did a diploma in addiction counseling and a number of other certificates. And it gave me a newer perspective into life where I don't feel, okay, at times I'll feel useless and all that. But now I think I've come to terms with my issues. I've come to terms with my shortcomings. I've come to terms with the mistakes that happened, and I don't judge myself for that. The biggest, speaking from the experience of an addict, it is the way people see you that makes you even want to hate yourself even further. Because you find that people look at you as a failure. It is not. It is that things went or happened differently from what we expected. Life can take a turn, but for me, I know there's always something on the other end. As long as I can stay without substances, there is hope. I'm 7 years, I'll be 7 years clean 29th of this month, which makes it a milestone for me, because I never thought I could stay a week without using, because I found the solution to my problems in substances. In the substances. And I realize now life is calmer, life is more comfortable. I wake up happy, I sleep happy. You know, those are some of the things that I cannot purchase.
I have seen people ask, maybe the way you're saying, finding solution in the substances. There are people who think maybe sobriety is boring, why wouldn't I go kudunda wa Kenya na sherehe? So what would you say to that?
Wow, you're right. In the initial stages, I will think, how will my life be? Because what I did and where I was surrounded on substance use or getting substances. So, and this day I find a more meaningful angle to life. I can go out, treat myself, eat something nice, give myself. They have gone for treats that I wouldn't have been able to achieve in active addiction. And yes, life can be fun without addiction.
The substances.
Yes, without substances.
Yeah. And maybe now here we are actually in your own rehabilitation center. Tell us about that. How did you go from being the addict in the village to now owning such a thing?
Now the addict, you know, there's one thing about addiction that I've learned from my own experience. That many people will disqualify you from being able to come back to life normal. That is one thing I wanted to beat, and that's one thing I wanted to work on. Also, the contemporary way of doing addiction was the family gets you, takes you to a place, you are secluded, blah blah and all that. For me, I see that kind of approach it worked for me, but had I gotten a better chance, a more interactive form of treatment, like we have in Infinite, where a person is the guide in their recovery. I think for me, it's a addiction is it is changing its dynamic. One thing can work for another, but for the others, a different form.
So you have to individualize.
Yes. So for me, I believe in individualized approach to addiction. I look at things critically, and I put the person in charge of their own problems and their own solutions. It has worked so far for the many people I've worked with. We kind of give a conducive environment for meaningful recovery. That I mean, we give the person a share of responsibility. We give the person a say in what the outcomes is. And also give the person a reason why they need to change. We give them input in terms of their strengths. We make use of their strengths to enable us move further ahead.
That is a very good story, and I hope that through listening to this you can see the hope and also the experience. Of course, we didn't have enough time to share all the story, but at least you have gotten snippets of being in addiction for 15 years, and now here he is, 7 years of sobriety, and now helping other people who are in the same. All right, wow, this is such an encouraging message, and as you can hear, Infinite Hope is the name of the rehab, and you can see that there is hope for someone who is struggling with addiction. And maybe as we finish, Abdullahi, maybe you can tell us what you'd wish to tell someone out there going through it, maybe their loved ones, maybe the society in general. What would you like for them to know about addiction?
For me, I will put addiction as a disease. And the fact that someone who is sick needs help should be the reason why families should not give up on their loved ones. In terms of always looking out for them. And mostly we consider rehabilitation centers as places to be taken people who are crazy, to take people who are crazy. It is not. Addiction is a mental health issue, and with the right approach, people can always overcome their addiction. With the right approach, you can also turn back from having lost all hope to getting back to be a very productive, responsible member of the society. I view addiction as something that can be beaten by an individual with love. We look at the different strengths of individuals. I'll encourage people not to stigmatize addiction and see it as a normal disease that can be treatable, and given the right conditions, an individual can overcome the addiction.
Wow, let me sip some tea, because as you have heard, there is so much tea for addiction, and I know that there is so much story that you have not told us. So if you liked this video, please don't forget to leave a like, comment down below, and share with someone who may need it, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you again for watching. Until next time, remember that mental health is for everyone.